let's go down to Mart, the other 2A Division 2. So their Panthers are more used to playing on this stage than anyone in Central Texas. And if you had asked us before the season, we might have said that a lot of the Panthers X Factors had graduated. Now it is Mart. They seem to find them. But here they are again, mauling everyone in their path. So what is the Mart X Factor, or who?
Mart is also one of those teams that I feel like Crawford a bit, who, you know, is very much everybody's contributing. I mean, I could name people, Abram Ross, Monty Swainer, you know, those guys, they just, every time that I would get like nominations for Player of the Week, their numbers would be so low, but then you would look at the score and I'm just like, what's going on here? What happened here, right? I think their biggest thing is that they're hungry to prove themselves and to get back to what they expect Mart to be, because they were obviously not satisfied with their result last year. And I think that was their biggest motivation coming into the season, is like, we're not what we're supposed to be if we can't win the state title, because it's Mart, right? So
Chad?
Yeah, that's a great point. And that's kind of what I was going to say, is I think that their X factor is their chip on their shoulder. But also kind of off that point too, and you made it, is that I feel like maybe the kind of weird strength of this Mart team is you're not looking over your shoulder going, okay, this guy right here, he's the one that's going to make the difference for us, you know? And so, like, you're not relying on one guy. You're not anticipating one guy is going to make the play that gets it done for you. So, and those younger guys are having a chance to come up and be the guy. And the other thing is maybe they're harder to scout, because you're not saying, I'm drawing a blank and I'm not at my computer today, but you know, the big running back that ended up playing quarterback last year, it was so good for him.
Gosh. Yeah.
So we're all going to draw a blank at the same time.
I wasn't here last year.
DJ wasn't here. You're not going back to Rodrell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was 2 years ago. Was his last year, right?
Right. Rodrell had it. So Rodrell Green, correct? Was that his last name, Chad?
Freeman.
Rodrell Freeman. Sorry, Rodrell Freeman.
Yeah.
It's terrible that we can't remember this, because he had a chance, and now it didn't happen, but to
win 4 rings.
To win 4 rings. He won 3 in a row, freshman, sophomore, junior, and then they were stopped his senior year. But what were you going to say about him?
Yeah, it was like, okay, well, you know, Rodrell Freeman's going to win this game for us, you know. Or, you know, a variety of medlocks last year or whatever. It's like
medlocks.
So, you know, the other team scouting them can't be like, well, we got to stop Rodrell first and foremost. We got to stop number 10. So I think that really kind of plays to their strength in a way.
Yeah. So in stand-up comedy, I'm going to explain a little bit about stand-up comedy to you guys. They have something called a callback, where, you know, they set up the joke, they make the joke, and then they tell some more jokes. And then kind of at the end of their set, they have the callback, and you're like, oh yeah, I recognize that joke from earlier. That it all comes together. So I'm going to do a callback here. And I'm going to say the X Factor is something that DJ wrote about earlier in the dadgum year, which was their line play. Kevin Hoffman said, this is the best line he's had at Mart. And man, you know, we always say that's where football games are won. I think that's one of the reasons they're mauling people. Now, that's not to take anything away from any of their skill guys. I think Jonah Ross is a really good quarterback. I know Hoffman's high on him too. Just a sophomore, isn't he? I think he's just a sophomore. So they've got a bright future ahead with him. But I think, and DJ mentioned, and this has been a Mart thing for a while, but the low stats, right? Well, it's because they're up, 40-0 after a quarter, and Kevin Hoffman isn't a mean guy, and he's not going to beat a team 150-0. But I remember sometimes when he'd send in Super Syntax nominations, and he'd almost be like apologetic, and he'd say, these guys are good. Like, I could have got Rodrell 3,000 yards if I wanted him. And while those stats are low, DJ, when you look at them, it's like 2 carries for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns, or 3 catches for 79 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's just like, good grief, these guys are efficient. So I think that line is a big deal. It creates huge holes, and those guys are fast, and they just go through them. So watch out for the line. And who is Mart playing again? Lovelady?
Lovelady.
Yeah, okay. Jason Orts.
Unranked opponent, by the way, which is kind of strange for this time of year.
Yeah, it is. So Lovelady, good luck.